My name is Scorzelli, and this is the evolution of automobiles. Although it is commonly thought that Ford's Model T was the first car was actually invented by Carl Benz in 1885, who later went on to start Mercedes-Benz. Benz's car only had three wheels and seemed more like a tricycle than a car. It was only able to hold two passengers and ran on a four-stroke engine. Benz's model was extremely inefficient, running only up to 65 miles. This is a picture of its original. Henry Ford's Model T is the first car that was made in mass production in order to be more affordable to the public. Ford used the assembly line technique to revolutionize the automobile industry. It was first sold in 1908 with a purchase price of $825. He ultimately ended up producing over 15 million Model Ts. The Model T ran on a four-cylinder engine and could only run up to 45 miles per hour. Just like any other business, there is always constant improvements and upgrades. Immediately, cars were made to be faster and more efficient. Engines were now mainly in the fronts of cars and could come in V8, V12, and V16 models. The old way of handbrakes was swapped out for a brake pedal, and most cars now had closed bodies. In this time, cars were already starting to be raced, such as the Bugatti. This is a picture of of a Bugatti, and they were actually ended up winning over 2,000 races with this car. Through the next years, more and more cars were designed and companies expanded as well as developed. The next big development in the automobile industry is the SUV, or sports utility vehicle, which was developed in 1960. These cars were larger, and this caused them to use more gas and get less miles per gallon. They were based off the original Jeep used by the military. These were the original gas guzzlers. During the modern era, cars have become an everyday part of life, and it is difficult to live without one. Modern era cars include the SUV, the minivan, and the hatchback. These cars have the basic form and include front-wheel or all-wheel drive, V6 configured engine, and the ability to easily pump gas. These cars are found everywhere throughout the world. Unfortunately, they are using up too much oil and putting out too much pollution. This is why currently there is such a strong push for hybrids and environmentally friendly cars. An automobile always needs fuel to run, and unfortunately, gasoline will eventually be used up. Also, the pollution coming from the cars is also a problem. With these two problems, it is time for the automobile industry to go green. Around 1992 is when alternate power sources were encouraged. There are now cars that have solar panels to help absorb natural energy. Other cars are somewhat battery powered and only rely on some gas. In 1997, car manufacturers such as Honda and Toyota developed hybrid engines that were both more energy efficient and also caused less pollution. They even had these engines in some SUVs. Throughout the last century, cars have been a very important part of the world. Starting with the original Benz model, working its way up to Ford's Model T, all the way up until today's hybrids. These cars have changed the way people live, and if we could find a way to make them more energy efficient, they could be even better. Although there have been some strides in getting a car to run less on fossil fuels, it isn't complete yet. And until then, we still have to rely on gasoline to get around. People are researching every day, and cars are becoming more and more efficient. Groups are making steps to improve the quality of their vehicles. Even our own school uses biofuel instead of regular fuel because it is more efficient. It is not only in America where this is happening. The push for a green world is a real goal. When the day comes that cars run on renewable energy, is the day the world will change.